Before I came to Pure Vitality, I was experiencing extraordinarily difficult life. I was in mold. My home was full of mold, but I didn't know it. I didn't know what that meant to be in mold. And I had to do a lot of research to find out, but I was in mold. I was experiencing, on a scale from 1 to 10, a 10 with electromagnetic sensitivity. I was beginning to experience, well, I was experiencing multiple chemical sensitivity. For instance, if somebody were cutting the grass 2 houses down from where I was, I could smell it, the grass cuttings. And it would be a very difficult thing to tolerate. I could smell cigarette smoke from, seemed like miles away, and just really, really tough to deal with on a day-to-day basis, to have that such sensitivity to those smells. The electromagnetic sensitivity was even worse. And at one time I was on the floor of my kitchen, sleeping there. That's where I lived for I don't know how many months, but it was anytime I moved in a certain, if I got up and moved, even going to the bathroom, I could feel electricity all over my body. It was extremely difficult, so I literally had to live in my kitchen on the floor. Life was very, very difficult, not only for me, but for my family. I had siblings around me and my father, and they didn't know what to do. They're at their wits' end. And they're very supportive. We're a very close family, and they were literally at their wits' end of knowing what to do. There was discussion of maybe psychiatric help, even though I knew inside my heart that I wasn't, this wasn't a mental illness type deal. It was a physical challenge that affected my emotions. So that was also very hard. Relationships in my life, even people from church, not understanding completely, and you get those looks of sort of like they want to help but they don't know how. It's very, very difficult. At one point beforehand, I was very photosensitive, very, very much sensitive to the sun, and at one point I had to completely be in a pitch black room. They had to aluminum foil even the cracks and crevices under my door. All my windows had to be shut in with aluminum foil, because I couldn't tolerate even a little bit of light, which I've learned that the sun gives off electromagnetic fields, so that was probably what was happening. But I was short of breath if I got exposed to the sun. I felt like my lungs were swelling, and I had to go to the hospital in 2016. The months of October and November, I had to go 12 times to the emergency room, and I even camped out in my car at the hospital, because I would just start getting so short of breath. And I would go into the hospital and I would see the doctors, and they would say, "You're back," and they would hand me a bottle of anxiety pills and say, basically, "Take these, sweetheart." And you'll be okay, or whatever. And they're also thinking, you know, she needs to be in a psych ward probably. So, but I knew something physically was going on. I just didn't know what it was, and going from doctor to doctor to doctor, trying to find out what was going on. And so that was my life for a few years, honestly. Finally was able to be in my house. We bought a Faraday cage for me, and I was literally in my bed with this big Faraday cage around me. After I was able to get off the floor in my kitchen, I moved to the Faraday cage on my bed, which was a big step. And it helped a little bit from the electromagnetic feelings I was experiencing. So it was quite difficult, very, very difficult. I finally found a doctor in my area who found Lyme disease, and he had actually taken I think 40 vials of blood to finally find it. But I was so grateful at that point that I could be labeled, even though I don't like to label myself now. I'm grateful that at that point there was something to this madness. Since coming to Pure Vitality, the experience I had here was second to none. Because they address body, mind, and spirit. It's 3 in 1. It just has to be done like that, in my opinion. Now it has to be done like that, because you can eat organic foods all you want, but if you're not dealing with your emotional issues and spiritual issues, I believe that your healing is going to take longer, much longer. And it was like it streamlined me toward healing much faster. So I'm so grateful, yes. Since doing the sauna program, it has been, I believe, 3 months since I've been in the sauna for the intensive program. My life is I can't even put it into words how grateful I am. I couldn't walk down the aisle of a grocery store in the detergent section before. Now I can walk down without worrying about, oh my goodness, the smells, and this is going to bother me. And it's so much easier for me now. I would say the MCS, the sensitivity has just really, I would say about 80% it's cleared. And for me, going from not being able to be around people, places, and things that cause these sensitivities to being so much more, I'm not thinking about it, I'm not hyper focused on it, I'm not fearing it at all as much as I did back then. So the intensive sauna program is a must to get here to Pure Vitality, because your life's going to change. There is no question in my mind. An example would be, I have not worn makeup in like 5 years because of just the sensitivity of it. I have not worn a shirt or clothes that I have not washed probably 3, 4, 5 times, depending on the shirt. I went out and bought this yesterday, and I put it on. I didn't wash it. It hasn't, nothing, didn't hang it outside, didn't do anything. And I am completely fine. I have no symptoms whatsoever. The makeup I'm wearing, no symptoms. So, and I know because I've been on the other side of the video watching these videos. I've been in my car with holding my cell phone away from me because I'm so sensitive, and looking for testimonials of people who have overcome, and just the hope. It's hope that we need with a capital H. And like I said, I've been that person, and now I am that person. I am that person on the other side. And at one time in my life, I thought, no way. There is no way that I will ever. And now I'm like, yes, absolutely. And anybody that's watching this can improve their life. Anybody who's watching this can get better. Anybody who's watching this can get their life back. There is no question in my mind now that I've done it.